For most of your life, you've probably been managing something that you don't even notice anymore, something that you're probably not even aware of that you've been doing. And it's the management of your energy around other people's perceptions. So, how the world receives you, more specifically, of how the world sees you. The carefully curated image from what you do to how you dress to how you come across in relational to professional settings to the kind of car you drive, the house you live in, everything curated from an image to manage other people's perception of you so they see you in a certain light. But that takes a lot of energy and a lot of energy that's directed towards how do I gain the attention of the right woman to get her attraction, to get her attention, to be with her, or the right opportunity. And there's no doubt that it all serves a purpose in development and maturation in becoming a gentleman and becoming who you would love to be. But there comes a point when it's merely exhaustion, when you have lost the center point, the core of who you are, because who you are is actually a formation of where your energy has been directed out towards. So you don't even really know who you are because it's been of who do I have to be? What do I have to curate? What do I have to become? What do I need to achieve? How much money do I need in the account in order to get the recognition that I am so hungry and starving for? And there is when it becomes an endless pursuit. You become like the skeleton pirate on Pirates of the Caribbean on that ride, if you've ever been on that ride, of there's no amount on the outside that'll quench the thirst on the inside, which only could be quenched from within and not from without. And that is the paradox that a lot of gentlemen get jammed up in and crossed up in, and some never are able to make it to the other side because their orientation is so outward focused and their energy leaks, their aura becomes weak and docile and impotent versus developing an aura that has depth, that has presence, that could walk into a space and be felt without wanting the need to be felt. And so this is where it really comes into play of redirecting your energy inward to develop a sense of self, to become artfully you, to become self-connected, self-expressed, and be operating from the deep sense of your own core. Because the outward orientation, the outward focus is an addiction. And the addiction is covering up deep pain, something that's within that developed a strategy in order to cover that up. And so this outward orientation is all just a facade to keep you away from who and what you really are. And when you drop the outward orientation and you stop the focus of stop, what are they going to think of me? I need them to like me. I need their approval because it's fuel, it's food. It's like filling up your car, and the car is always dependent upon the gasoline, the electrical charge. But the thing is, you're not a car. You're human, and we're in reverse. It has to come from within to eventually be felt on the outside, right? You are the seed that's giving birth to the beauty. It's not the opposite way around here. And so the work becomes more so about shedding everything that you thought you had to be, everything that you thought you had to do, everything that you thought you had to achieve in order to actually be a worthwhile human being who has personal worth and personal sovereignty versus my worth is dependent upon if I get this beautiful woman's attention, if she chooses me, if this job chooses me, if this private club chooses me to have me, if the bank chooses me, versus what do you choose? What is it that you would actually like to choose? And most gentlemen who I've worked with, and I've worked with gentlemen from all over the world, from China to across Europe, Mexico, Canada, Australia, and I could tell you that they actually don't know when they first come, what they want to choose. It's there, but it's so wrapped up like a ball of yarn because they're so externally dependent upon the outside world to tell them they're enough by the attention, by the validation, by the acceptance, versus what if I make a 180 shift here and start to turn inward and start to say, hey, does this actually even feel good to me? Is this something that I even want? And I could tell you a story from my personal experience in my own life about 4 years ago, and I was on an app, and I'm not going to say which app, and there was a beautiful woman who, by all standards, was everything physically that I was looking for. But there's one caveat with it. I kind of knew I didn't want to be with a woman who had already kind of developed her own family. I thought originally I wanted to do that together. And so that was kind of like, like it's not something I want, but I gave in on the leaning of the beauty, right? So I got swept in that a bit. And I didn't trust that there was going to be another, that there was abundance. And I learned a lot about this through myself by making that decision and not trusting myself. But the lesson that it really was like, I didn't give myself permission in that moment to just stick with what I knew ultimately that felt good to me, and trust that what I wanted was valid and enough, and to lean into that versus leaning into being swept up by something that I thought by being with this person would give me because of external things. And so the lesson here is, when you turn inward, when you stop leaking your energy on being a chameleon and trying to appease these different people, appease different scenarios, snake your way in, have to lack integrity within yourself in order to get the hit, right? I need the hit of attention. I need the hit of validation to feel good. Is you drop all that. Just drop it all. And I can tell you it's not going to be pleasant. It's not going to be fun. And this is where you want to hire a coach. You want to have a therapist, and you want to have great friends around you, because you're going to go into the desert alone, but it'll be the best, most rewarding, most difficult adventure of your life. But through the liminal phase, you will come out and discover, awaken parts of you that have just been there the whole time, but have been so wrapped up over the need for approval. And so it's like taking a puzzle that you put together with 1,000 different faces and removing the puzzle. Just right. It's not so much about gaining, it's about removing everything that you thought you had to be in order to have personal worth. So that could be from abandonment, from needing the woman, or I got to have the greatest car, or I need to have the best house. Not saying you don't want those things. I've had those things. I've had the Porsche, I've had the high rise condo, right? I thought those would fill me up. I had beautiful women, all those. And I could tell you, um, it wasn't, it didn't work. Um, and in order to dive in, a lot of those things had to get removed to actually see who am I without attention, right? So this is where you learn and you get to be with who you are. And there's something really amazing on the other side of that. And that on the other side of that is you coming into contact with you, because we're removing the barriers that keep you from what is beneath you, what wants to come out, what creativity, what things you want to do. What is your life that you would love to design actually look like? And that doesn't mean if you have, or you're in a relationship and you're married or you have a significant other, that doesn't mean it's all about you. There's just, you're gaining access to those parts of you so you could add that to the dynamic of the partnership you're in. Or if you're single, you're now looking at, hey, what does a life look like that feels really good to live every day, right? Life has it's hard, it's challenging, it has its moments where it really pushes our edges, and you want to create a life that feels good to live in, that nourishes you. So regardless if it's a really challenging day or if it's a great day, you're creating a life that it's one that's worth pursuing. It's a mountain that's worth continuing to climb, and for you to awaken what is there within you that wants to come alive. Because I could tell you, underneath all of that energy that's directed outward, there's amazing energy and amazing creativity within you that's just waiting to come out of you, to be poured out of you, to be gifted to the world of, regardless of what it may be, in your unique way, in your unique service, your unique offering, because no one is you. And so what is there is like a treasure chest just waiting to be opened. But the key exists when you stop needing the approval, when you stop needing the attention to feel good, because you learn to give that to yourself. And that's the magic of attraction. That's the magic of the swagger, the aura, right? The riz. All of that is turning inward and really unleashing who you are. Because when you're good with you, you don't need to be the richest guy. You don't need to be the best looking guy. You don't need to be the most successful or the best body, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You could walk in somewhere and people will just feel you. You could be wearing some like cool ass jacket that your dad or your grandpa was sitting in his closet. And it's just like, wow, it's all about the way you carry yourself and how you feel inward. And that's really the art of living, the art of really creating something that feels great to you. Because when you do that for yourself, right? When you love yourself, you'll trust yourself. So you'll trust yourself to make the right decisions. You'll lean less on the outside world. That doesn't mean you won't maybe reflect some stuff with a coach, therapist, a friend, but it means that you could trust you, that you can lean on you when times get hard. You could stay with you could believe in you. And that is the essence of being the art of the gentleman, right? Of developing that. So if any of this resonates with you, I have some links below. Check them out. There's some free guides. Follow me on Instagram. I got a TikTok as well. Um, if you want to go deeper, you could fill out a type form, see if you're right fit for one-on-one coaching as well.